when you treat adolescents, do you treat any who are drug addicts?
Good question. They are drug users, but not necessarily drug addicts. Because when you call people drug addicts, then you are distancing yourself. You want to understand why did they start using those drugs. Do you understand? Because some people don't just wake up in the morning and say, oh, I'm going to start using drugs. There's something that happens to them. Either they've been bullied, or they are depressed, or someone has introduced them to those drugs. So my job is to prevent them from continuing, or to send them to a psychiatrist who will support them to get off the addiction.
How do you do it? Because I don't think it's easy.
No, it's not easy at all. There was this girl who came to us at Munapo, and she was 17, but she was abusing alcohol. She was introduced to this alcohol by her friend, who was apparently her boyfriend. And she started drinking more and more and more and more and more, to the extent that even when she was in class, she would go and drink more. But talking to her and helping her understand that her future was going to be affected if she continued down that road. You know how alcohol can destroy a lot of your organs? What organs can it destroy?
Liver.
Perfect. There?
The heart.
The heart?
The stomach.
The stomach, especially the stomach, because it can cause ulcers. People don't eat well. Yes?
Sometimes.
The brain, not even just sometimes, a lot of times. You've seen people who abuse alcohol and then they start speaking with a slurred speech. Then they forget where their home is. And before you know it, they are gone. Okay? So anyway, this girl, we talked to her, we encouraged her guardians to support her. We made her realize that this so-called friend was not a really good friend. And slowly by slowly, she got off the alcohol. Today I want to say she's a very responsible person.
Sometimes when a child, like, there's no one to be treated, when they are all ground, their friends have left them, how do you deal with that child just calm them down and accept what you say?
Especially adolescents, they will come in when they are angry. They just have poor anger management problems, right? Have you seen some of those? Even in your school, haven't you seen them?
Yes.
When I see adolescents, I usually ask that the parent should step out of the room. So we want to give the adolescents the independence to speak up for themselves. And my commitment to them is I will keep as much as possible everything confidential.
You can't speak there. How do you communicate to them? How do you ask them? Is this what they need? How do they communicate to you?
As a pediatrician, I have been taught how to communicate with children. Remember, a pediatrician sees children right from the time they are little babies, and babies cannot talk. So we use all the senses that we can, including seeing whether this child is crying, if they are miserable. The posture of a person can tell you a lot about what's going on. Okay? So there's a lot of non-verbal communication that you have to pick up very quickly. So a person of hearing impairment, I need to up my game and learn sign language. I still haven't learned sign language, but at least I can say, I love you. And I can also say, please smile. Yeah? And you know, you learn those little things, and even touching and asking them to write. If they can write what's paining them, that will help. I've also used things like pictures, like ask a child to draw a picture, and they'll draw a picture and they will be demonstrating how they feel. It's not easy. I think that every doctor needs to learn sign language so that we can communicate to people who cannot hear.
My mom told me she also wants to remember women's children just
Nice.
She tells me that she gets children that her hand says,
Mm-hmm.
but they will also be children where like this and out and they feel so good. So that's why sometimes they feel like science is terrible. How are you able to overcome those stuff?
Wow. It's not easy to take care of little babies that are as small as a palm. Those are prematures. Now, when you become a doctor, it's important for you, first of all, to be strong, to be courageous. The first lecture you have in medical school includes looking at a dead body and learning from them. So those bodies are called cadavers. You need to learn where do the veins pass, where do the bones attach to the muscles. And so it's important in our training to deal with cadavers.
How do you create a happy environment for children? Like, just come down and
I'm going to show you some of my tricks. What are these called? They are reward stickers. So when a child comes into this room, my first thing is to see how they are relating with their parents, and then to tell them that if they cooperate, they are going to get a reward sticker. And you can see how many reward stickers people have taken away. Guess what sticker she chose? Superstar.
what are the courses related to pediatrician?
Oh, right from primary, you need to understand English, like basic English. Are you surprised, Leah? You have to know how to read, because becoming a doctor involves a lot of reading, a lot. And so you have to learn how to read. Then mathematics, because that's basic science, mathematics, but also biology. And then as you go along, you need to learn a lot of things, but concentrate on 3 major subjects: biology, chemistry, mathematics, or biology, chemistry, and physics. Then at the university doing medicine, there are so many subjects, but the primary ones in the first years: physiology, anatomy, biochemistry, sociology, psychology. And then as you go along, you start to specialize and you do surgery, pediatrics, obstetrics and gynecology, in pathology, all those other subjects, okay? And public health.
Have you ever treated a brain?
Now, yes, I have.
A situation that comes that they have brought a dead body and the brain is all splattered, and they say that they would like you to first put it together before it's buried. How do you overcome that fear and just be strong?
Let's say there's a bad accident, the brain is like a soft liquid, like fat, and it's difficult to pick it up and put it back. I've actually been in situations where there was a blast. I was a young doctor and people's brains were literally out, and it was really hard. I've also been able to manage. I was part of an operating team where there was a patient who had a big blood clot in his brain, and so we had to go in and do what we call a bar hole and remove the blood. And this person woke up immediately. They were becoming unconscious because the clot of blood was pressuring their brain. But once we removed the blood, it was like magic. Person woke up and was like, oh, where am I? And yet he was unconscious. But for me now, the way I treat a brain is for patients who come in with meningitis. Have you heard of meningitis?
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's infection in the brain. And we notice it when a patient has a headache, has convulsions, has a high-grade fever, and then we have to take off a sample of their CSF from the spine. to confirm what is causing the infection. The other way people's brains become sick is by becoming depressed or stressed or just angry. That's brain disease. That's mental illness. When I see a child who is so disabled and would make me sad,
Yes.
is that it?
Yes.
That how do I cope with such sadness? Okay, that's also a very good question. There are situations which are really sad. I see a lot of very, very, very sick patients. Yeah? And it can be sad. But the way I overcome the sadness is praying is important. Always try to do your best to save the patient, but also to surround yourself with people who make me happy. My family, my friends, doing sports. Doing sports, by the way, is so important. It helps you to exercise physically. You rack up your happy hormone, which is called dopamine. And even you guys, when you're in P7, I know they are putting a lot of pressure on you, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. But if you're exercising, then you'll be able to smile.
And you already said that's what a doctor of children. What disease normally affects most children who come here?
The commonest one is upper respiratory tract infection. So just a cough. But also diarrhea, abdominal pain, malaria. Those are the commonest. The others, because it's an adolescent skewed clinic, it's usually people who come in because they want to be vaccinated to remain safe, and others just want to ask questions. Why is my body changing? Are your bodies changing?
Yes.
Yeah. It can be confusing for some young people.
Just to save the patient, but still things are confused and they pass away. How do you go about that to understand?
Last week on Monday, I saw a patient. He was 15 but really small, and he was critically ill. So we started him on treatment. He also had tuberculosis and he seemed to do well. He had put on some weight. This was in April. When I saw him at my ward on Monday, he was very, very sick. His cancer had spread. His arm was swollen. The cancer had bled into his lungs. And all our efforts to save me were not successful. I felt terrible. I actually cried because I thought we were going to save him. So sometimes it can be difficult, like you do your best, but sometimes your best may not be good enough. That's why we call upon every single parent, one, to know their HIV status, and second of all, to start on treatment. And if they have children, to make sure that they test their children. Because imagine this friend of ours, B, was tested when he was 15. If he had been tested when he was 1 year old, wouldn't he still be alive? He would. So many regrets, but we pray that God rests his soul in peace.
How else can you sensitize parents to take care of their children and care about their medical health? Apart from when they come here, when their children are already sick and there's no one you can help them.
I work very closely with the media, and the media includes television, newspapers, but I also have my own media. I don't have a television, but I have social media, which includes my Twitter handle, my Instagram, my TikTok. I'm on TikTok. Guess what? On TikTok. So I'll try and communicate as much as I can to people about a disease. I also have a personal blog and a website, which is www.sabrinakitaka.org. And I like to write a lot. And so if you have a chance, you can read. I hold conferences, including we are going to hold a conference for young people how to treat young people, but we also invite young people like you to come for our conference. So if we would partner with Toto, maybe these guys would be the ones giving a short presentation to the doctors and the nurses and the social workers from Uganda and many places in the world in November.
All of this science,
All of this
pediatricians.
It takes a lot of determination and commitment. I wrote a book called The Real Pursuit of Excellence, which is a story of how I started, how my parents encouraged me. My principle is whatever you do it to the best of your abilities. Today is a gift. Yesterday was a lesson, and tomorrow we don't know. But today is a gift. So for every day that you live, make it purposeful.
Download the app on App Store or Google Play Store now. Vision Digital Experience, the future of media.